Check 1 2. Check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. On behalf of the entire staff of the Cup of Ray, I'd like to thank the fine folks and staff here at Vision Cable for the entire staff here at Vision Cable for allowing me this 1 hour of public access a week on your government-provided access channel. Welcome to a Cup of Ray. What? You know I'm always going to try to do something stupid. Hey, it's Sunday morning, July 30. It's hot, but not so much because I'm down here. I'm down here at Krabby's on the Pass. I got that vibe coming off. Actually, today it feels like it's coming off the Intracoastal, but it feels like it's the exact same vibe as the one off the Gulf of Mexico. So it's kind of a center vibe. It's a Cup of Ray. Please share. Let's talk about Buccaneers. Now I'm going to be. Thank you very much for all of your time. It's a Cup of Ray. I'll see you on the other side. Let's have a Sunday morning dialogue. It's a Sojourn for the Sports Savvy Soul. See you then. So one of the reasons why I'll always be brave on the opening to the show, if you will. First of all, I'm just an idiot. It never goes off as I record according to plan, or it was so much funnier in my head. But everybody joining in now, and I see the numbers coming in. So everybody joining in now, please share the show. Comment, question. What do you want to talk about on this Sunday, July 30th, 2023? I got to stop doing that and then I'll start doing it the entire show. Ooh, that sun is hot. So I'm going to be bouncing in the shade a little bit and out of the shade, but I still wanted to bring you that $1 million view again. Thanks to the staff down here at Krabby's on the Pass. Got breakfast rolling right now. It smells like heaven. Got that bar open, the world's longest waterfront bar. Lunch, dinner, Gulf of Mexico, sunset, Treasure Island Bridge, John's Pass Bridge. What else could you want? Okay, last night, finally did it. I'll take my glasses off till somebody comments. Please just let me know how's the sound. Let me know at least if the sound's okay. I hope it's okay. Finally watched. Okay, finally loaded 80 for Brady. Don't hate. I mean, I love Jane Fonda. I love Lily Tomlin. I love Rita Moreno. I love Sally Fields. And I know there's a couple other cameos in there. And I'm sure it's going to get good when it... Because, here, it's been one of those weeks, like I know y'all probably had. Hey, just a comment real quick. How's the sound? How's the picture? But it's been like that. I get home last night. I'm like, I want to watch a Saturday night movie. And it used to be, I'll be honest, it used to be so HBO, Saturday night. There's an 8 o'clock movie. They're like turning them over every 72 seconds. And I'm like, okay. Now it's like, especially with the writers and actors strike still going on, and everything is still streaming, but you're starting to kind of, okay, I know there's a plethora, Leo word, of things out there to continue to go out and stream or watch, but yet at the end of the day, you're like, I like what I want. I want some of that consistency. And of course that has nothing to do with the fact that HBO no longer has those big Saturday night movies. The profit structure changed. So I mean, still kicking it with some great shows, but anyway, it wasn't even on Max. Was it on Max? Okay, I went to Max because I was like, let me look for a movie. Max being HBO, the Max, the online package. I'm not sure the platform it was on. I'm just literally just until somebody comments that my sound's okay. Unless the sound's terrible, which I'll find out here in a minute. Ooh, this shirt's going to be wet. Again, down here at Krabby's on the Pass. Loaded Brady for 80 for Brady. Like the premise. I love it so far. Not going to, no spoilers here unless somebody wants to comment on spoilers. Didn't quite get to where, I mean, they're actually on the way. They're on their way to the Super Bowl there. Patriots versus the Falcons 2017. They're on their way. And we know what happened there. Falcons fans, shout out. NFC South, Buccaneers, Third consecutive NFC South title here coming up in 2023. Stay tuned. I'm literally just rambling until someone says something. I know I shared a show. I see the numbers, but nobody wants to say anything. Just let me know if my sound's okay. Or got a little boat going in the back of me. There you go. Coming into Doc here at Krabby's on the Pass. Going to get some of that breakfast. I'm sure Brady for 80 is going to get better. I just wanted to start off by saying I watched it. I didn't have a problem with it. But you know what? Transitioning to speaking of the NFC South, and of course, we talked about it this week. Kind of big news on Tuesday, huge news on Tuesday. Of course, one would pose, I think this is the tail end. Well, this is obviously the tail end of what used to be the no news cycle for the offseason. It doesn't exist anymore because there is no more offseason for the National Football League, but the news cycle is continuous. We're in camp now. That's obviously the news. Sean Payton throwing shade on Nathaniel Hackett. And then he comes out the next day. He's like, I need to check myself, paraphrasing. I need to check myself a little more. Oh, and here's the thing. Again, I posed this the other day. Sean Payton, having learned and coached under Bill Parcells in Dallas, which is basically when everybody started to. Everyone knew that Sean Payton was a hustler. But in Dallas, on that Bill Parcells staff, was everybody started going, wow, this guy tight end coach. And then was the offensive coordinator? No, he became offensive coordinator, was OC before I think the Saints hired him. God, should have done my Sean Payton research, but again, it's been one of those weeks. Ain't one of y'all wanting to make a comment? Hold on a sec. You know what I should do? I'll try this. So anyway, yeah, Sean Payton talking about, again, you know the narrative now. That was the narrative, the reason why Sean Payton was hired. Can he be the one that fixes Russell Wilson? Can he be the one that, the Broncos pretty much tie? Oh, it is so hot. Because I'm standing in direct sunlight. We got fans and shades down here at Krabby's. Let me just pick this up real quick on my page because I just want to make sure the comment feature is working. Because sometimes the comment feature doesn't work. And then if this does go through, I'll feel stupid because it's a stupid comment. But you know what? It'll stand out. So let's see how long it takes to get there. Doing what he has to do to make the Broncos better in a very competitive AFC West. I love it. I said this the other day. Sean Payton's going to say exactly what he needs to say to motivate his players and to check yourself, to get everyone to get a checkup from the neck up at the door as they walk into the Broncos training. Man, the comments aren't working. Am I even live? Well, yeah, I just saw myself live. I see numbers. Didn't have a problem with it. But then I wondered, it ran, right? Because anytime a coach says something that egregious about another coach, that's totally the reason why it runs, obviously. But then to go on to the whole Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett, OC now with the New York Jets under Robert Saleh, and that, they've been anointed the chosen ones, not only out of the AFC East, but almost they're in the top 4 now, 5 in the AFC altogether, right? Or at least everybody's kind of trying to put their, kind of like they're trying to put Baker Mayfield. I'm just kidding. See, I waited till what, the 5-minute mark to mention Baker? These comments aren't coming through. Hold on a second. Because comments are the best part of this, not my comment, but your comments. That's what I want to see, what your questions are, what you guys want to talk about camp. Anyway, stand by with me. Let's just run this one more time. Let me just check one thing out. I'll be right back. Like I was saying, the reason why Sean The reason why Sean Payton throws that shade is he needs to motivate that team. He knew exactly what he was doing. And I love the fact that he waits 24 hours and comes out and says, look, I've got to check myself a little more before I say something. I got some comments. Thank goodness, guys. Good morning. Sitian comes in here and says, GM Ray, General Manager Ray, I like what you're thinking there, Mr. Howell. But yeah, good morning, my friend. Harry Berg, who I actually just called while I was on a commercial break. Hi, Ray. Okay, so the comments are in there. So that was the news on Tuesday. And then the news, obviously, the news the entire week was because of the Buccaneers going to camp, was the running backs throughout the entire National Football League and Saquon Barkley kind of folding in back. And here's the thing. The reason why I mentioned the running back thing, and I can't believe Kevin Stefanski when he's talking about Nick Chubb. This is the NFL doublespeak right here. And it's the game. It's the corporate game. It's the job. It's it's money. It's a business. That is what it is. It's business. This is Kevin Stefanski out the right side of his mouth. We're totally supporting Nick Chubb. We understand the situation is weird. I'm paraphrasing, but I always do. And we stand behind Chubb 100%. Okay, now this is the other side. It is what it is. The NFL running back market. They're valued, undervalued. What do they do? What do they don't do? What does it mean to have a dog back there? I mean, people have said they run so many pro-style offenses now in high school and in college. I'm transitioning off the running back thing until my first guest comes in here or until I get another comment. I like Keyshawn Vaughn. I love Rachaad White. I love this 1-2 punch. I love Chase Edmonds. I like what the Buccaneers are doing at running back. And I haven't seen a whole lot of camp. I saw Jay Retcher from the J and Z show there on 95 WDAE Monday through Friday, 12 to 3. Total dogs. And of course, my guy Aaron, Pat and Aaron in the mornings, and then T-Craz and Night Train in the afternoon. But more importantly, Wise and Mathis on Saturdays from 9 to 11. Just all over the board, 6 days a week, and that's why I got you covered on Sunday until game day. And then even then, I'll be doing something. Most important part of our Buccaneer running back backfield, even though I think back to Dave Moore, number 83, the tight end come from Miami, what he meant to this team. I look at O'Keefe just because we used him in the fullback position, or the H-back, if you will, last season. Because as much as I like to think, wow, 7 receiver sets, Rachaad White, Keyshawn Vaughn, remember he was number 1 in the SEC coming out of Vanderbilt. Got another comment. Whoa, I'm just going to, y'all know when you comment, I stop rambling. Tim Haynes. Tim, good morning. I hope you guys go back later and just watch the opening of the show. I'm going to, and it's either going to make me want to cancel the show or you're going to laugh really hard. Again, thanks to the people at Vision Cable for my public access time here on a Sunday morning cup of raid. Thanks. Good to see you, Tim. But I like, okay, even Keyshawn Vaughn, 5'10", 229, 225-ish dog. Rachaad White, upright running back, kind of some people compare him a little bit to Eric Dickerson. Did I want to say it was Misador? Heck yeah, from the crew. I think me was the one that didn't say he was. I mean, let's be honest, Eric Dickerson was Eric Dickerson. But compares the way Rachaad White runs through the hole. Number 1's looking so tight on him. But Keyshawn Vaughn, Rachaad White, both below 6 feet, 5'10". You got Chase Edmonds. I mean, you get to 6 foot close there. And as far as the 200 to 220, as far as what the weight that, and now I'm like shifting offensive line, pulling guards, great receiver sets. But there are going to be times, especially with a team that's learning a new offense. And then even for teams that aren't learning a new offense, maybe they're in their 10th year in this offense. There's a time when you got to draw them dogs in, go heavy jumbo package, and you're going to have to bring in a O'Keefe or a Payne Durham or a Kate Otten, who's pretty darn big, or even our receivers who are pretty big, but you got to go jumbo package. And unlike in 2022, when the Buccaneers needed short yardage and your quarterback was not even an option, no offense, Tom, but you weren't. And you see the way Baker and Kyle are both rolling out and moving that pocket. And now all of a sudden it makes that defense either I pose stay home or take more chances. Of course, they always might take the right chance and stuff a hole. Can I say that on this show? Stuff it at the line of scrimmage or what have you. But we're going to need a dog like O'Keefe. We're going to need some pups, some big boys back in there for those tight yardage. And another thing, since I haven't got any comments, please, y'all, share the show and comment. Just talking Buccaneer camp, talking politics. I'm kidding. Keep that stuff away on a Sunday. We talk religion. I mean, Another thing about because I just want to go in truth in advertising. I've spent most of the last 3 or 4 days pretty much. Mom's doing so much better at the hospital with my mom, and it's been good. It's been long. Yeah, I'm not long like but I mean it's been a rough 96 hours. So I'm in the basement there or the hospital in the waiting room. I'm trying to get information on camp. I'm like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I see, and again, thanks, shout out to my boy Jay Retcher, and but then I see, oh. As we put that Trask fieldometer to the left side, you guys, I had to say it. So I waited till what? The 15-minute and 20-second mark. The Trask fieldometer, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to put pressure on anybody, but at the end of the day, isn't that quarterback competition between Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield? Isn't that exactly what they're trying to do? You're not trying to go, we'll assuage you into that position when we think he's ready and the others feels won't. No, it's a competition. You want the pressure. I say put the gauge. Trask fieldometer. I already trademarked it. I'm going to have shirts made up. It's hashtag Trask. No, that is cool, right? But it's McLaughlin and Blankenship, the kickers. And who did I say? Oh, that was Joe Bucks fan. Shout out to Joe Bucks fan. I was reading that yesterday as I was, again, searching for information that they're both competing, making, Joe says didn't see all their kicks, but then both of them nail a couple of 58-yarders as they walk off the field. And I mean, also have to put those kickers under pressure. Ooh, this shirt is going to be, I might change shirts halfway. Actually, I might just go jump in that boat and go for a swim in the pass. Excuse me 1 second. I got somebody in my lobby. Just want to make sure they're dressed. It's not a Cup of Ray after dark. Oh, I'm going to wipe the sweat, which I actually could have done off camera in a couple of minutes. My guy. We're talking Kyle Trask. We're talking Kyle Trask lover. There's only one other person in the world that loves Kyle Trask more than Ray Kennedy. And I'm going to bring him to the show right now. Coming in on a Cup of Ray on a Sunday morning, Harry the Greek brother. Harry, how are you, brah?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I mean a good cup of Ray morning.
Oh, or a can of Red Bull morning. But yeah, we got this. Harry, camp. Again, I just explained I've been off the grid on and off for the last 96. What are some of your observations from it? First of all, is it just me? Does it seem like the information's not flowing as freely as it used to when Tom Brady was here and there's like a little bit more control on it? Or is it just because there's not as many people covering it? So that's why the flow seems a little less.
Bingo. That's exactly what's happening. There's just not as much flow.
Right.
Their media is not really covering it as much. Right now, everybody's focused on the lack of rain, what's going on. It's the hottest month in December in Tampa ever recorded. Who's running for president? Everything else seems to be more important. But let me tell you something. There's nothing more important than football season, baby.
Bro, now you're talking. I can't believe it. We're actually, 31st, August 1, we're 6 days away from a Hall of Fame game, 2 weeks away from our first preseason. And I'm like, wait, is that right? Is our first preseason? I don't want to put you on the spot. I think it's the 7th or the 8th. Maybe it's the 15th, but it's coming quick. And let me ask you this. So transitioning, talking about that light flow from camp. It is a real competition. I'm not talking about McLaughlin and Blankenship. We'll get to that in a minute because you got some history of Blankenship, but I know you got love for Blankenship.
Mm-hmm.
But the quarterback competition, Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. Tell me what you see from both quarterbacks, how this competition shaping up. Is it truly a competition? And who do you have? We'll get to who do you have in the lead in a second.
It's always going to be a competition. I mean, look, I keep standing on a soapbox telling everybody, Ray, that if he was truly the starter in regards to Baker Mayfield, they wouldn't have paid him third string money. I didn't say second string, third string money.
Best point we've made so far.
So
I love that,
so
bro.
either his agent is extremely stupid,
Right.
okay, or he just really wanted to play for this team. But let's be real, folks. They're paying him third string money. He is probably going to end up being the starter because of the fans clamoring for him the whole 9 yards. But man, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be so much egg on this organization's face if they missed with Kyle Trask. And I don't believe they did, because I'll tell you what, his mannerisms out there, he's learned so much from being under Tom Brady. It's scary. Have you seen what he has done?
Let me tell you, Harry, I'll be honest with you. Because I'm trying to, you always like wondered, how did I get here? How did I make this leap? Did I leap? Or is it just a steady step in the right direction? But I'm looking at And everybody, and here's the thing, I think we were far enough. I've heard nobody say, and I'll be the first one here on Sunday to say, we're not saying anybody's got Tom Brady rose-colored glasses on. We're not trying. I mean, because that's been a narrative in New England with every starting with Brissett, with all the Garoppolo, all the quarterbacks went behind Tom. They're all like, "Is this going to be because he was in the room? Some of it rubbed off." But you look at Kyle Trask going back to Manville High, going back to UF Florida, coming to the Bucks, and now spending 3 years behind, 2 years behind Tom Brady. I'm looking at him in camp, Harry, and I'm telling you, I see when he goes through his progressions, steps into his throw and throws it. I'm looking for a 1 on the left side of that too, because there's a lot of mannerisms that I've seen from Tom Brady.
Good point. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks throw like a lot of quarterbacks. It looks like he's got really good mechanics, but you'll know when you see the pressure coming up in his face.
Oh,
Look, it's an unpopular opinion, but I still can't help but think that Kyle Trask is QB1.
no. Well, maybe unpopular out here. Let me just get this in here real quick. Fred Moore on my YouTube channel. Go to Tampa Bay Rays 7683. Do a follow. So in case Facebook's algorithms are slow on a Sunday because Zuckerberg's posting another video of him on a jet ski with a flag or something, get on my YouTube channel. Follow it there. The progression or the percussion? No, the rate is better and the comments are solid. Good morning, Fred. Harry, I totally agree. And go back to Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley. The guy, I said, he makes his best plays come off script. He's got a solid arm. He is such a gamer. And if he wins your QB1 job here in Tampa, I don't think anybody's disappointed because we know this coaching staff made the right decision. But the problem is it goes the other way. If number 2's under center come September, whatever, I hope the Tampa Bay's buttholes don't pucker up like they used to back in the 80s and go, what's going to go wrong next? And realize this coaching staff made the best decision. Let's ball. What are your thoughts?
I got to tell you, the over and under for the Tampa season is like 5.5 or 6
I
games.
know.
It's a game and a half less than the Chicago Bears, who had the first overall draft pick. Okay, come on, let's just be real. I mean, this team is not that bad, but this organization's in a win-win situation, and I'm
Right?
going to explain why. Because some people are thinking, well, they're in full rebuild. Are
Wow.
they? Are they?
Right?
I mean, you kept Chris Godwin, you kept, Mike Evans. They've essentially kept the team. They've addressed the offensive line. The defense can't get worse than what it was last year. Well, that defense was worse last year, not because of the injuries, is because they were passing the ball 185
Lack
times
of
a game.
support on the
Okay,
offensive side.
right.
Yes.
So
Oh, sorry.
I'm not trying to pound my chest and sound like a homer and a fan for the Buccaneers, but the facts are out there. This is still a really, really good football team. They're going to have a different identity, which I, for one, have been clamoring for 3.5 years. Please run the football. And they're going to run the football to set up the pass. So I think either quarterback will be successful. But I don't know, Ray. I still say Kyle Trask is QB1, but this organization's in a win-win situation because if they're bad, they're going to say, well, we were kind of rebuilding. We lost Tom Brady. But if they do really good, they're going to say, I told you. You're muted, Ray.
I'm sorry, I muted myself so I could adjust my camera.
That's okay. I can explain what Ray was saying. He was saying, I would like chicken nuggets with a large fry.
That's exactly what I said. Except it's actually a rum and Coke, make it a double. Talking about the Bears and Roquan Smith, and of course, Devin White. What's he going to do? And I posed early on, the guy doesn't have a heart this big and love for his horse and love for horses. And a question, just the kind of cat that he is going back to LSU. We knew that he was already working on a second contract before he signed the first one, but he shows up and comes to camp. He knows he balls out this year. Worst case, he's franchised. I don't think Jason Light does it. I think that he would try to figure out a way to keep the linebacker here long term. He does need to show some improvement, though, doesn't he, Harry?
Yeah, without question. I mean, everybody deserves to get paid when they're producing.
Right.
Okay, but it depends on how much money they're looking for. Now, if he's looking for Roquan Smith money, no, you got to let him go, man. He's not that type of player. Personally, I think he fits well in this scheme. But I'll tell you what, there's one thing I can honestly say about this organization in Tampa Bay.
Right.
If you do well, they will reward you.
Yes.
It's not like Sternberg with the Rays, which is a totally different subject. Okay. But
Different financial
yeah,
structure. Different.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
now you got a team on the other side of Tampa Bay over in St. Pete that may not even make the playoffs. Okay.
Playoffs.
Okay. I mean, I'm sorry to say, everybody was like, they're riding that horse, baby. Let's get that thoroughbred across the line. I was like, boy, oh boy, it's got a lot of early speed. They usually quit in
Oh,
the end.
nobody
Uh,
ever won a World Series in June. I
that's what
mean,
I kept saying.
I know you did. That's why I said it.
And I said, this team, if long as they can be competitive in the second half, they're going to play around 500 baseball, and it doesn't even
Ugh.
look like they're doing that right now. It's unfortunate. It
Well,
really
then
is.
watched Hodge get lit up yesterday to wonder where your pitching's going. And every year it's like going back a lot. It was, even though the year they had last year, it was Glass now. And then before that, and it comes to injuries to this pitching staff and Rasmussen and Jeffrey Springs. Yeah, when we had all those dogs, but even when it was the dogs we had, the pitching staff really hasn't been the one. The pitching staff could almost sue the offense on the Rays, just like the defense could have sued the Bucks offense last year for lack of support.
Ray, it's a great point, but I'm going to say this, bud.
Go ahead, buddy.
I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, they forgot what their bats look like.
Yes.
Okay, and I've been saying it since the second week, when everybody was jumping off airplanes, going, "This is the greatest team of all time. They're better than the 37 Yankees," and I'm like, "This bullpen is not that good. It
Well,
just
no,
isn't. They needed to
no.
address it."
Well, I mean, for the start of that season, though, epic, by historical proportion.
They
But
were scoring 150 runs a game.
they had what 50? They had 53 guys that had over 10 home runs. They were
I
swinging the
know.
bats.
It was incredible, Ray. It was one of the best starts that
Ouch.
I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm not kidding you.
Yes.
It really was. I still think this team can regroup, get it back together,
Yeah.
and get to the finish line somehow, but it's going to be very challenging. But back to football, man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, man, this organization's in a win-win situation with this team, because if they don't do that well and they don't produce, it's going to be like, well, we're kind of building here. But they got a lot of pieces, man. And if Canales is the real deal, they could still win the NFC South.
Brother, also number 7 reports to camp. Shaq Barrett. And is it just my imagination? Because I get these I'm a fan, like you guys and girls out there watching. I see you comment. What are your thoughts on the camp so far, or anything in general? I get these fan eyes in July and come on, and I'm like, Aruga, Aruga. I'm like looking at Shaq Barrett. I'm like, did that cat, with course, with the knee injury and the time away, did he put on 5 pounds of muscle on the upper body? Because it sure looks like it. And is that going to help him with the outside pressure this season for the Bucks?
It absolutely could help him,
Yes.
as long as he didn't lose a step.
Right.
That's the issue. And you remember, every time you get a year older, you get a year slower.
Ouch.
You do. It's just the way it is. I mean, there's only so many hits you can take in the National Football League. I mean, there are freak athletes out there like a Tom Brady that can play into his mid 40s. But let's talk about defensive players. I mean, or even, I mean, let's talk about an offensive player. Talk about a
Dude,
freak athlete. How about Adrian Peterson at his age to tear an
what
ACL and
the?
then come back and run for like a zillion yards? I mean, they just don't come around like that. But for the average human being that plays football,
Yeah.
it's here, it comes up, it plateaus, and it just starts to dip a little bit.
Speaking of former Minnesota Viking running backs, where's Dalvin Cook? Where did he sign?
I don't know, but from what I
He
understand,
hasn't.
I understand that the Jets have been very interested in him, and it looks like he may go there. And
Really?
yep, it looks like he may actually go there.
You see, the Jets are playing that because they've got the other. Excuse me, right now, off Tariq. No, the other running back who had was like
the ACL. He had an
and
ACL.
he was rookie of the year or almost the year before, and of course he injured himself last season. But they got Aaron Rodgers, the Jets do. They got Robert Salah. Everything feels good. Tampa Bay, we know how that feels. If you're championship chasing, if Dalvin Cook's like, well, look, the market might correct itself for 2024, but I'm going to take a chance and go after a championship in 2023 with A-Rod back there. Harry, have you gotten on a Jets fan wagon? If so, or if not, why?
I'll tell you what, man. I really, Zipper. I like the Jets. I
Right?
think they're going to make a lot of noise. I think this division's going to be between the Miami Dolphins and the Jets. You didn't hear me say the Buffalo Bills. That's for
Oh,
another story. I see a lot of regression in that team, and it's all due because of a QB1 and Jared. I'm sorry, and Allen.
Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's not the same quarterback that he was 3 years ago.
Sorry,
You
I had
need
to
to
air
wear
it
the
out.
you got to wear the muscle hamster shirt.
Right? Look at that. I've actually. Am I losing weight? Does this shirt
Yeah.
make me look fat?
Oh God.
Okay, so
Sorry,
let's go.
Raynette.
Hey, we're gonna get it rolling again. Are we gonna get this thing started back up for the season?
Oh yeah, baby.
Because
Oh
ain't nothing
yeah.
like starting a Sunday morning off in Doug Reek's pool with a
In the
cold one in
Greeks.
my hand,
Do you remember
live
that,
all
Ray?
over Chicago. Live all
Tell
over Chicago.
live all over the country. Ray, do you remember that? That
What?
was like Harry. I mean, it was just like unbelievable. I mean, here's
That
Ray
almost went.
sipping.
Well,
It it could have went
that
viral.
was our version of viral, right? Because if we get more than like 5 views, it's like, Joe, there was a 6th viewer, or I've actually go to Tampa Bay Ray 7683. I've got 22 followers, but they're 22 faithful followers. Like and follow the channel. I swear, I will never hit you with. I'll never. You know what? I would pose if I do hit you with one of them late night. I've had too many beers. It's not going to be entertaining, but at least you can laugh at me,
No, it's funny. Oh, it's definitely funny. Absolutely funny. All right, Ray.
brother.
I got a hard question for you. Who do you like in the
Yeah.
North over there?
The AFC North.
Yeah.
You gotta like the Jets. I mean, you gotta like the narrative, and again, I work it back to here. Let me go full screen on me just for a second, since you asked the question. I just want to see if I do look back. No, I mean, I go back to the Jets. Remember Staten Island, the entire family. We were Mets and Jets. No Yankees, no Giants. Sorry, Andrew Davis, but going to the narrative and all, and hope that team can learn. But here's what you have in New York that you didn't have, other than Quinnen Williams on the defensive line. And there are some pieces. I mean, they've got a Jordan Whitehead, and he's a veteran that actually was on the team with Tom Brady and did it. It's not as mature a team. It's not as put together as solid as Jason Light had these Buccaneers in 2020. I think that there's more things that could go wrong, because the AFC East, with even a regressing Josh Allen, but with the Dolphins still coming on, and who knows what Bill Belichick's going to do, it's still it's a tough division. The Jets, they've got to impress that division first, and then of course I think by answering that, then we'll know where they stand on the entire league stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I really like the Jets in that division. And if they end up getting Dalvin Cook,
Oh,
it'll be really good, because Breece Hall, that was the running back that you were thinking of Michael Carter. But Breece Hall, that's the kid that's
yes,
just an absolute phenom. I mean,
yeah.
as long as it didn't take one of his steps away, he's going to be great. But if they're shopping outside for another running back, that's usually indicating there's something wrong with a stud running back that they have.
Oh, well, here's another thing, though. I also, not that Brees couldn't do this, because that kid, for his size and stature, the way he runs between the tackles, but man, I see Aaron Rodgers, just dropping back, and the defense is coming in. They're allowing them to come in. They're going zero. The defense is just rushing them all,
Whoop,
and
right,
Aaron
right over the line.
to Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook, the one thing I've seen that going back to FSU with Dalvin, I'm not saying Brees can't do it. Dalvin can receive out of the backfield. You get him there, and I think that is a huge step. I think the Jets are willing to go 2023 saying we don't absolutely positively need it, but if Dalvin wants to go for a championship, you'd have to be on board.
Yeah, I that's another question. They've really put a great team around Aaron Rodgers. But again, and that's why I led into that little segue.
Yeah.
How much has he lost? Another year older.
Well, Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
you saw the restructure on a contract, right? So instead of
Yeah,
60 million,
yeah, I've seen it. I mean,
there's
it's
so much.
look,
No, go
man,
ahead.
that's the first time that he has ever been not a selfish player. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he really was a very selfish player. Otherwise, Green Bay would have won more championships. It was about me, 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 me.
Oh, spoken like a Bears fan. Let me ask you this though: why is Harry? Because we've been around for both, and here I am. Please, people comment. People they love to watch, don't they? But no one ever wants to get involved. If they got involved, this could really turn into a party. Um, how many shades of likeness is there between the Brett Favre going to the Jets 1,000 years ago and Aaron Rodgers to the Jets in 2023? What are the major differences between the two? Go.
Well, the major differences between the two.
That's me. Sorry. I can't
It's
produce
okay.
for shit. I can't produce for anything. Go ahead.
The major differences, there really weren't too many major differences. They just like to deal with the Jets. As a matter of fact, they've already announced in 2036, Jordan Love will be a New York Jet.
Who announced that? That fan-sided.
You
Let
heard
me
it
ask.
here first on a cup array with the over/under and Harry the Greek.
Wait,
He's
and let
announced
me.
it already.
We're doing our futures. Hey, a gambling term I know. Parlay, I can't pull out of my butt. Futures, I can. What was that parlay again? I said if you want to take a parlay, Harry, it was
You said an exacta. I said no, Ray. It's a parlay.
well, I
Ray.
called
It's
it a
parlay.
quinella
A
because
quinella, yeah.
you have to pick two winners, but they're two different
Well,
positions.
you know what? You were kind of correct. A quinella is you pick two of them and they both have to run first or second. That's what
Right.
it is. So
But
that's the
I'm
difference between
saying,
a quinella and exacta. But what you were inferring to was a
and that's a
parlay.
perfecta.
There's a perfecta. Show me your vig, Ray. There you go. There's the vig.
I said you had to choose. You know what? The next comment, I've got to, and I don't want to keep it real. If you got to go, you let me know. But the very first person that answers this with their parlay doesn't even have to, or with their parlay doesn't have to be correct. I'm going to throw at them an extreme fishing. You know what I'm talking about right here. Yank and Crank. Come on, yankandcrank.com. You guys knew that. But, I went to adjust glasses aren't there. Whose parlay is this? You got to name the starting QB1 for the Buccaneers in 2023 between Mayfield and Trask. And you got to pick the right kicker who wins this battle between McLaughlin and Blankenship. There's your parlay. What was I talking about gambling? No. I'm so sorry. I took it down that bad. I took it down that deep rabbit hole because I was asking you a question about something because we said something about where you take the 5.5 games to the Buccaneers. They're a game and a half behind the Bears expected to? Because I'll be honest with you.
The Bears were at 4, then 5, then 6. Now they're over and under 7.5.
They're climbing. People see that.
Well, that's because of DJ Moore. That's because of getting Robert Tonyan. That's because they what did they do? They addressed the other offense. They've addressed the offensive line.
I still think Eberflus is a great coach in what they're doing there. And at the end of the day, Justin Fields, is Trey Lance going to be available as a backup for someone to Justin Fields? Is Sam Darnold going to actually take that? Because now Purdy's there, right? And he's cleared. So I guess it's all Brock. I guess it's a true competition. But being that Trey Lance was they moved up to get him in the first round. You talked about the Buccaneers and egg face from Kyle Trask in the second. What kind of egg is on the face?
As Ray just froze up completely, he said, "What kind of egg was on the face of who? Who do you think it was, ladies and gentlemen? Because I don't have a clue who Ray was talking about here." There he is. Oh, he's
back.
Stay
there. I'm here.
So you said you said you had egg on the face of who because you completely froze up.
Well, I was doing that. I'll be brief this time, which I know for me is a surprise, but the whole Trey Lance, comparing him to Justin Fields, but the 49ers, Brock Purdy's in camp, Sam Darnold's there. You and I have talked about whether Sam Darnold might have been a starter if Purdy's still not ready, which it's looking like he is. Are the 49ers, they're going to have to trade Trey Lance? Is there a team out there that looks at this kid and just goes, he was a victim of circumstance and we can do something with this kid?
That's a great question, Ray. I mean, who the hell knows what they're going to do? They're the best team in the National Football League, hands down. But they have question at the they're questionable at the most important position on that team, which is going to be QB1. They don't know who the quarterback one's going to be. But if Trey Lance is healthy, he's going to be your QB1. I'm sorry. They're not going to trade him because they're not going to get much for him. Let's talk about what they gave up for him to get him.
Wow. And I mean, here's the thing.
They can't do it. They're just way too much invested. What are they going to get a second or a third round pick? No one's going to give him a first round pick for a guy that blew out his knee.
And you basically let the Purdy guy come in here. Iowa State, I think, where he came. But I mean, he was a gamer.
Came from Iowa State. He was a hell of a gamer. But he's
a lot of games, a lot of college time.
Take him out of that. Take him out of that play. Out of that offensive, out of Shanahan's offense, and he'll be a third string quarterback on most teams.
We look better right here, brother. We got a couple of answers to our parlay question. Tim Haynes says, "I'd love to see Trask get the QB1 job." Yep. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not, like I said, I'm just prefacing it saying if it's Baker, okay, Canales made the call. Todd Bowles, I just don't like the narrative that just because in 2018 the Jets had him at number 3 and then Cleveland ended up sneaking in there automatically means he wins this job. Different team, different times. It's 5 years later. I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. You got more comments.
Harry Berg says Trask and Blankenship. I'll tell you what, isn't Rodrigo a pistol? Not to transition because we were. And McLaughlin from outside 50, boom, from 41 to 49. Okay, had improvements there last year with Indianapolis, but Rodrigo, and the guy went to the University of Georgia, so we'd have our punter and our place kicker there, and Jake Camarda and Rodrigo Blankenship. I don't think that matters, but
But
good
Ray,
luck to
you
either one.
love to beg for the leg.
I do beg for the leg, brother. And Tim Haynes says Harry needs to move to Tarpon Springs.
I lived there for a while.
It's the Greek in you, brother.
It's the Greek in me.
Oh, and Fred Moore says Baker and blank. Specs.
The sexy pick is Baker.
Specs. Yeah. It is.
What
I mean,
am I missing something for Specs?
no, he's saying Rodrigo Specs.
Oh yeah.
That's what the funny thing. And I love. Did you see the video? Because you go back to when Georgia beat Oklahoma in a championship game back in Baker's. I think it was his senior season in Oklahoma. And when Blankenship first signs with the team, he's walking by and Baker's stretching, and Baker goes, and it's captured on video. It's like, "Yo, I still hate you." And I mean, he said it obviously like a dog, like another teammate. But I'm going to go
Was
ahead
that
and
before or after he pointed to his crotch?
Who, Baker?
Yeah, you remember that?
Come on. Yeah, but I mean, doesn't he have insurance for that?
No, he was in the bowl game and he was running down the middle of the field pointing to his crotch, and I was like, "Oh, that young man's got to grow
what
up."
was that all about? Did you remember when he planted the Oklahoma flag at midfield at Oklahoma State?
Look, man, no, I'm going to tell you what I love is fiery competitiveness.
Yeah, I like Baker. I love Baker Mayfield.
Yep. You just didn't like him when he went to Carolina. Remember that?
No, I didn't like him because Sam Darnold had more experience in that offense, and they brought Baker in, and I fought with everybody. I'm like, dude, so that was Matt Rule trying to save his ass. And
I remember.
Guess what? He didn't. Is he in Wisconsin or Nebraska now?
I have no idea where he's at.
Well, here's the thing with Baker. They were setting him up for failure. If I were the Cleveland Browns, I don't give a crap how good Cleveland looks this year. Deshaun's looking great, and the Cleveland and Stefanski. I still wish them the major boons, just because at the end of the day, I'm not even mad about the fact of all those cases that got swish-washed away, which, by the way, so did Alvin Kamara. Nice job on that National Football League. I think I heard there's not even going to be a suspension. Turns out you can kill someone. If you push it down the road 5 years, they can get it down to a public intoxication. I guess money talks, right?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, they're not going to talk about things like that. You can commit murder. You could beat your wife. You can slap people around. Hold on. You can gamble on sports. They'll talk about it, and then they'll just kind of sweep it up under the rug. It's all because of this, Ray.
Yeah, that's the end of the day.
How about you? Don't forget to pay your taxes for 2 years, and you tell me what's going to happen.
I ran a toll here this morning in St. Pete Beach because I didn't have my fast pass, so I ran a toll and I got three cops pull me over. They put me on. I was down on the ground. I'm just kidding. I just want to do that.
Hey, man.
But I'm good.
It's like anybody who's watched Trailer Park Boys, the guys from Canada,
Yes.
and there's Bubbles. It's right here. My favorite part in Trailer Park Boys, I really hate, going off on it. And I know you haven't watched them yet, but there's a character in there. One of the lead guys is Ricky, and Ricky, he loves to get stopped by the cops because he could just talk his way out of anything. It's almost like you and I talking to somebody.
Right.
I mean, just talk his way out of anything. I mean anything. Just got done robbing a bank and they're letting him go because, I mean, Ricky didn't do it. He was like, you don't understand. I was back in there. I was trying to just people shooting at us. They're inside there. You know what I'm saying? And Bubbles was going, it's right here. Right here, Ricky.
What was that? The old joke used to go blow bubbles?
You could blow somebody, but I don't know if you're blowing bubbles.
Are we talking about Michael's monkey?
There you go.
Hey, I'm just saying for a Sunday morning, just to kind of keep it light. Did that this morning, talked about being able to get out of a situation. I went down and they were taking mom into surgery early this morning. And I didn't stop. The desks are closed. Shout out to the great staff at Morton Plant Hospital. And then
which one?
Before that. The one on Fort Harrison on Jeffords.
Great hospital, man.
Great. Yesterday, I was able to, after mom got out of her procedure yesterday, I crossed the street to O'Keefe's. Shout out to O'Keefe's. Had a nice large reef donkey. I think they literally brought it from a donkey. It was so fresh. Got mom a burger. But
I didn't. Ray. Take a look over your right. No, he took off. The Pelicano took off.
See? Yeah. the bridge hasn't gone up. I guess when it gets above a certain temperature, people just don't. I guess there's not a whole lot of breeze today, so a sailboat might be counterproductive. So we'll see if the. Oh no, yeah, it's the advertising truck. But I didn't have anyone ask for directions, so I'm like, I remember mom's on this floor, ICU. I got off in the wrong ICU.
Where did you see me?
What's that?
You said I see you. Where'd you see me?
I said I see you.
You said I see you.
I see you. I always see you, bro. I love you.
No, I was trying to make a funny joke. You just didn't catch it. You were going to I see you, and I said,
I
where'd you see me?
Jesus Christ. Are we back to Michael's monkey again?
Yeah, we're back to Michael's monkey and blowing bubbles.
I
Yes,
don't
we
blow
are.
bubbles. I wait.
And
I
Ray
got off the wrong.
and Jamie said hello.
Jamie, hello, man. Hello, my dear. Didn't get to spend as much time with you guys this year. It's been a little crazy, but we definitely have a sunset beer coming up. I'm already run up on 45. Are you good for another minute or two?
Sure.
And I'm gonna get you out of here. Other stories. Forget the running back. We talked about that. Okay, dude, I can't believe you didn't even take me there. What were your thoughts? I'm gonna go full screen when Sean Payton dropped. Oh, police boat. Look at this. You hear it?
Yeah, I do.
Watch
Ray,
it,
I don't know. I don't know much about what Sean Payton said.
Okay. Basically,
But usually, what comes out of his mouth is like a teenage boy.
Watch
It's usually
this.
a lie.
Whew. They ain't messing around. You see that boat fly through there?
Yep. Someone forgot to pay their taxes.
Dude, they're literally on a little inflatable with like a trolling motor, but they are they are on top. They are planing. He said Nathaniel. Well, I don't ask you to reference or to say anything about what Sean Payton said, but because you are a handicapper by association, you know the implosion that was the 2022 Broncos. He basically said that Nathaniel Hackett, it was a hatchet job from the GM all the way down, and Hackett may be the worst head coach in the history of the National Football League. Of course, he's now the OC in New York for Aaron Rodgers and those Jets. That kind of shade. What did you see out of the 2022 Broncos? And did you kind of agree to the same thing? You remember Hackett when he was OC in Green Bay. Was that just Aaron Rodgers making him look good, or is this guy a ball, or just bad luck in Denver?
I think he just had bad luck in Denver. This is not going to take me long to finish it out. I mean, everybody can have a bad year. They had a new quarterback. The expectations were out the roof. And quite honestly, the offensive line wasn't really that great. And until they do something a little bit different, Denver's not really going to improve that much more. They're really not. That division, they're still going to finish. You ready? Last.
Yeah. Oh, so and you know what? Let me get over here. I'm gonna let you out of here. I'm gonna let you get out of here. Thanks for coming out. I actually agree with you because I think that I was saying that's what Sean Payton ever since he learned to coach or he was under Bill Parcells in Dallas, and that was something Bill Parcells would do. He knew where to apply the pressure, and he didn't matter in what form he did it. And then at the end, but of course, Payton the next day actually came out and said, "I need to check myself before I wreck myself." Where Bill Parcells, he would have never apologized for anything. He'd have doubled down 7 days a week and twice on game day, right?
Without question. I mean, it's not even a fair comparison. Sean Payton is a really good head coach, but he too is probably going to be a little past his time. And man, I'll tell you what, I never, ever, ever would have taken that job in Denver in that particular division. I mean, just look at the teams that are out there.
Yes.
They're just not that good. They're not.
Well, you got to deal with Justin Herbert and those Chargers, and they've got Kellen Moore at OC now. Forget about it. There's your AFC, maybe your NFL champion. I'm kidding. Herbert is a gamer, though. I don't know if the Chargers have what it takes. Doesn't someone have to? You know what? I'm gonna get you out of here.
I love Herbert. I do. I love Herbert.
Oh, Herbert! I swear I thought you finished with butt, and I was like, what? What?
Wow. We really went down there. It's not even 10 o'clock on a Friday night and we're doing this. I love it.
Well, if people aren't commenting, I'm like, you know what? Let's take it a little off the rails. I'll talk about Michael's monkey. I don't feel uncomfortable about that. He's the one that'll blow bubbles.
Right. I'll let you get back to
one before you go. I gotta ask you.
Monkey. Go ahead.
Give me a pick today. Give me 2 baseball teams you like, and if one of them isn't the Rays, give me the Rays prediction real quick, please. You got anything?
Second here, yeah, kinda. I just need.
You always do. I know you do. I've sat there. I've been in the passenger seat right next to you there, Captain.
What I do like a lot, is make sure everybody this evening about 5 or 6 o'clock get out to your local track and make sure you bet the giveaway at Del Mar, where the surf meets the turf, because they're a giveaway on their pick 6. It should be worth several $1 million to a single winner.
Are you kidding?
Oh yeah.
How many numbers
Absolutely.
do I have to pick, and how large of a position? Hey,
It's
I'm doing
it's
better
it's
today.
it's no big deal. You only got to pick 6 races consecutively.
The winner for all 6 of them.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just gonna get my Dungeons and Dragons dice, and I'm gonna get my 6 to you here this afternoon, brother. So you got that baseball prediction for me before I let you out, or
Yes,
we
I
do it
do.
again?
I like the
Let's do it.
Angels. I like the Angels on the road against the Blue
Ooh,
Jays. They're going to be a serious underdog, and I'm seeing if I can find another home underdog. The White Sox have taken 2 in a row from the Cleveland Guardians after they've given up their pitching staff.
wow.
I think Michael
Yes.
Kopech, and they are an underdog at plus 150 at home. I kind of like them. Uh,
Oh, I like it.
I like the Cardinals to finally beat the Cubs. And I like a road underdog, and I do actually like the Tampa Bay Rays a little bit today on a small position.
I will take it, and I'll finish with this question. The Rangers are kind of falling out of it. The Rays got to show they can be a come from behind team. They got to, I'm going to say it for the Rays. Beat me from here. I mean, not the rest of the American League, because the only way the Rays are coming back is if they get inside on the rail and they get that position. Because right now they're in the pack. Am I sounding like I know what I'm talking about? Right?
If
What is it with
Scherzer
me today?
goes, if Scherzer goes to Texas,
Maybe they jump. Oh, they jump right back in it. Well, they take over.
they take over.
But my question to you is, if the Texas Rangers continue to fall off and these California Angels continue to somehow climb, are we rooting for Ohtani and Trout? If the Rays aren't there, wouldn't that be a story to see the Angels finally drop one, or do we just hate other teams and just because we hate their fans and we just go no way?
Listen, man, I like the Angels. I think they're missing a few sticks to get there, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean, Texas really hasn't fallen off. I mean, they're still a game ahead of Houston. Houston got a little bit better because they went ahead and got Kendall Graveman back. They've addressed their bullpen a little bit more. I mean, the Angels will have to make it as a wild card. They're not going to win the division. They're only 3 games above 500. Let's be real, guys. You've got teams that are 13 games over 500, like the Astros in that division, and 15 games over 500, which are the Texans. And I
brother.
don't see a big difference. And here's an interesting stat for you.
You.
The Texas Rangers have scored over 600 runs
Wow. What?
for the season. Okay. They are 100 plus runs more than the Houston Astros in that division. Just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, even the great Tampa Bay Rays that had the season the way they started off are at 553.
Are you sure that they're not working those garbage cans in Arlington like they were a couple of years ago in Houston? I'm just kidding. What are you gonna say?
Who knows, man? I mean, who the hell knows? All I know is if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Brother Harry, are we going to start that thing back up again? Is there any place in that you want to share? Where can people find you? And thanks for joining me before I get you out of here.
Can't find me anywhere.
I know. What the hell, man? What's up with that, you idiot? Come on, let's go. Let's get this over under. Hashtag over under. If you all saw it
You
here and you
could
liked a little bit of taste, go ahead, brother.
if you like it, we're over under is going to be kicking back off real soon. We're going to start breaking down some football games. We're going to break down some, playoff baseball is going to be coming up, and the NHL's around the corner. We're just going to have a lot of fun. Where can you find me? You can find me on Twitter at Harry_Berg underscore the Greek at Twitter, or you can find me on Facebook at Harry Berg the Greek, I guess. And you can find
Boom.
me on A Cup of Ray and also on the sports web Mondays and Wednesdays usually. Haven't been there for a while. Been playing a
You're
little bit of
coming.
poker.
Brother, hey, don't forget, I'm going to leave you with this thought. A pigskin's always easier to handle till it gets greasy, brother. Appreciate you coming in this morning, Harry. Have a great day.
Take
I'm
care,
so
Ray.
bad. See you, brother. I am so bad today. But yeah, I want to get to my comments because I just saw a comment from Corey. First of all, let me work it back here. I did see you, Fred, Baker, and Specs, of course. Corey Brown says Russell Wilson's too short of a quarterback. I mean, you wonder because the offensive linemen are 7'4", but I mean, and they had shorter pulling guards. They did a lot of guard pulling in Seattle, so Russell was always the pocket was moving, but he wasn't standing behind a stout line. Um, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not a nice throat coming through. Not everyone can be 6'5" like Kyle Trask, the Eagle Scout. Just saying. Kidding. Corey Brown says L.A. Angels trade Ohtani and Trout and rebuild. I mean, that's what. Man, there's more pop boats going, guys. I hope whatever happened out there's. Man, I told him to drop the bail, but the bail a little off the coast, and it was supposed to come in with the tide. No, I hope whatever happened out there, I hope everybody's safe because, no matter where you are this summer, I'll take it as a moment to have a little PSA, but be careful out on the water because even though you're like, oh, we're free and we're running around, you're still operating a vehicle, and vehicles, yeah, they're clearing out that pass. I'll take it. Go ahead and I saw the people here at Johns Pass do just now. Here's your PSA for Drives I dropped in the Cup of Ray. Thanks for joining me here. Thanks for commenting, Corey Brown. Any last minute questions, guys and girls? The Trask Fieldometer. Like I just saw all the boaters here at Johns Pass as the emergency or the police boats were humming through the pass. They got out of the way. They made way because never actually seen an ambulance boat. I know we were so fortunate to have the Coast Guard, so fortunate to have our Coast Guard, but we have also the Respond unit from down just about 20 minutes south of here, down at the Eckerd College, and accesses out to the Sunshine Skyway and everything. But, from here, Johns Pass, halfway up the coast, the peninsula of Pinellas, the peninsula on a peninsula, and then you have something happen. Our officers are responding. So hopefully everyone's okay there. But again, I saw all the boats kind of veal out of the way, whether on the road or on the water or anywhere. You see an emergency vehicle. Hope it's not your emergency, but if it was, you'd hope somebody would get out of the way too, so they can get there and take care of it in a timely fashion. Whew. I got time. I'm gonna take it to an hour, and it's just under 5. So, anybody? Oh, I got more comments. I'm an idiot. Corey had a comment. Race trade target Stroman and Bellinger deadline. I'm glad you said that, Corey. I'm not. Look, we always work it back to 2020, Tampa Bay, and the Rays, the Lightning, the Bucks, the Rowdies. It's been a good run. It still continues to be a good run. This Rays team is still a solid team. I know we're coming up on the trade deadline. We're literally upon a trade deadline almost. I haven't seen enough from this team. When I say I wanted to see a Rays team that I said this before the All-Star break. At the All-Star break, I said, look, this team they were front runners. They were historic front runners. I needed to see a team that could get, and I used that racing reference with Harry the Greek there, my buddy Harry Berg. I said that they're, back in the pack and they're getting corner, they're shutting them out. And they need to find forget to get on the rail. That could be a dead man's game. Find the open air and then pull ahead. This team, do they have the ability to do that? Oh, yes. Does it take a little more consistency with the pitching? Oh, yes. But more importantly, it takes more consistency with scoring those runs. Still playing great defense. I mean, the defense I'm seeing with issues, it's mostly because some of the hitting's getting hit hit them where they ain't, and the other teams seem to be doing that. I haven't seen enough. I'd never say I've seen enough to say the Rays, but Tim Haynes, Bucs season depends on the offensive line and the D-line. Brother, doesn't it always? And I'm glad you said that, Tim. Because I was thinking today with Payne Durham and Cade Otton and Ko Keefe and the dogs we have at tight end and Jason Light's MO going back to 2000 when he was with the Patriots, guy in the room when the Brady pick was made, or at least he was in the organization, but I think he was in the room. His scouting services background, having played a defensive lineman himself at, I want to say it was Nebraska, like 1946. I'm kidding, but he was a dog in the middle. He was a defensive lineman. Understands. And you look at Kalijah Cansey, and you look at the moves that this team makes. And last year with Logan Hall, Sack Avenue, and Joe Tryon, who himself said he has that hit list of sacks that he missed. And we saw him. That was literally, think about this, guys and girls, as I close you out here. I'll go longer if you guys have more comments, but Joe Tryon Shoyanka's biggest problem was he got past the sack too fast. Okay, he needs to gain weight. He has gained weight. Buried a lead. My boy looks good. He's got that get off from the outside there that he got past the quarter. Oh, there's a fire truck turning in. Oh, man. It's over here. Oh, they're bringing somebody in here. Anyway, his only problem, I'm down here again, thanks to the staff at Krabby's on the Pass, was he got past the sack too fast. Now you got Logan Hall, you got Vita Vea, and you got Adams, and you got Kalijah over here, and you're working in a healthy Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Levante David. What? I remember when every I'm gonna frail here because I got another comment. So let me read that one. I could riff on this all day. Joe Tryon Shoyanka is Quan Alexander 2.0. Corey Brown, I like it. Quan Yeah. Do you know, only thing JTS doesn't have that Quan had was he had that kind of had. I'm trying to think of um, Quan got more from a running position and had a little more turn on his game, whereas what Joe depends on is like straight up the field speed and the fact that he can lean in. All right, sorry. So I'm gonna get that off camera though, so because trying not to be in my shot, it's not. Only difference between the two, JTS and Quan Alexander, 100% agree. But going back to this Buck season depends on the O line and defensive line. Jason Light knows how to build those dogs up front. I like the offensive line. I would be lying, and I'll ask you guys and girls this. I'd be lying if I didn't. Look at me all sweaty and everything. If I didn't, okay, Ryan Jensen, ligaments are all good, and guy is the veteran of the veteran. He's the veteran of the offense, and then maybe second. Is he the same age? I wonder. I should check this out. I wonder if him and Levante are, but I'm just saying, he's the guy. Ligaments are good. He didn't have any surgery. He's good. And it was a year ago yesterday. I tell you what, I held my breath when I posted that yesterday, didn't you guys? I get it. Jensen's just taking his time and Gadecki filled in and all that stuff. But at the end of this, at the same time, Corey Brown also says, linebackers are going to be great. 100%. I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just trying to report what's going on over here. But I know the staff, great job with the response to people. Yeah, they must have had a swimmer or something, had a little problem. They probably had some kind of I'm guessing a cardiac event, but they got the person in here and they got the medical staff right here. I mean, you're talking about, you saw when the ambulances and boats ran that way, the police officers, and how fast they had that person back in. I hope everything's okay. You know what? I'm at 10:02. I'm at an hour and 1, and I'm going to check for one more comment because I'm going to leave the rest of this to talk about another day. Because Camp's going to continue to get. Oh, I'm just still holding this cup. Look at me. It's like you're watching. Oh, you know what? Wait till there. It's like you're watching a workout video. Like I'm standing out here at John's Pass. Mayfield and Trask, Blankenship, McLaughlin, camp battles. Stay healthy. Continue to hydrate out there, everybody. Coaching staff too, guys and girls, everybody. I mean, you're out in this heat, regardless. Again, do you see how wet my shirt is? Let's go back and look at this. Stay safe. I'm going to go ahead. I know I posted it. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it right now. I don't understand how the algorithms work across all social media platforms. And I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are like, this guy's an idiot. And I get it. I think so too. But I think it's genuine. The Trask Field-ometer. I called it the Trask Field-ometer. It wasn't that I didn't want to do a Baker Kyle or a Baker Trask, or because I could just take both last names, Trask, of course, his entire name, and then Field, the last 5 digits of Baker's name, and then go ometer. So Trask Field-ometer. I know I kind of mouthed off yesterday when Ryan Jensen's comments were like, I see this whole new Kyle Trask. He's going through progressions. I'm paraphrasing, but you guys and girls know I always do. I've seen Trask doing things, and I know it's probably because the height's the same, and it's not that Baker's right there, and Baker is every bit as talented, if not more so, than a Kyle Trask. How's he fit into this Dave Canales offense, this Buccaneers team, what they're looking for? That remains to be seen. That's why I pose, let's have a meter every day. And it's not, again, I pose the reason for the Trask Field-ometer isn't to apply pressure where it's not needed. I pose you need pressure on your dogs that are competing for your starting quarterback position, and it should be on a daily basis. I don't need Todd Bowles and Dave Canales, even though they're going to make the decision. They don't need to have a meter. They don't need to speculate. They're in the room. They're making these decisions based on what they see in the analytics. It's all analytics with these Bucks. I'm kidding. I was thinking back to Rays. But for us, the fans, Trask Field-ometer. This way we know from day to day. I will set, everybody's going to, where do you set it at? And I see y'all watching. Where do you set it at? I'll tell you where I set it at right now before I jump out of here. Be safe. Eat outside. Corey, 100%. This is like, I never stand center. It's weird the way this camera works. It's like, this is actually center of the camera. But that would be weird, right? No, I'm kidding. It's actually right. It looks like it's right there. You get some kind of center. I'm setting the Trask Field-ometer straight up 5.5 because Baker is the guy. And Baker has been there, has done it, led a team to the playoffs. I don't know if y'all heard. I think you did. And Trask just spent the last hour and 10 minutes talking about the narrative on that guy. I say right now, it's straight up 5-5. Trask, Baker, Trask, Mayfield, the Trask fieldometer. I'm going to keep saying it until the algorithm and finds it. And again, shout out to the emergency medical staff down here. They're all coming back in. I better go ahead and end the show and get out of seat before they're actually here for me. Hope maybe it was just heat exhaustion. It could have been. You'd be surprised. Even at the beach, you're getting wet, you come out, but when you're out, you're sweating. The water does stop the sweating immediately. And of course, the salt's not bad for you either, but you can still dehydrate it. So no matter where you are, Corey, you said, let me go back and put that back on screen, Corey, because I appreciate you, brother. Be safe. Heat outside. Hydrate. And then when you're done, make sure you do a little hydration. Have a great day, everybody. I've got to go. Y'all know how I end every one of these things by watching you watch me drink my water. This is the water. That was something that was accumulating rain from here last night. I'm kidding. That was my water too. Everyone needs to know someone cares today. Why don't you be the one to let them know? I'm about to go somewhere and let someone know how much I care. And that's how we do. Thanks for joining me for Cup of Ray. All I do is I ask is you please share the show. But if you don't want to share the show, you don't want to admit to anybody that you even popped across this in your feed. You don't want them to know you're the kind of person that would even see this kind of trivial nonsense popping up in your data, in your social. You can go to my YouTube page, Tampa Bay Ray 7683, and give a little follow. Nobody will know. I'll keep it between us. I won't tell anybody. This way you never miss Cup of Ray. And why would you want to? Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Oh, God. Dude. My production skills leave a lot to be desired. Last shot. Where am I at? See you all next time on a Cup of Ray. And the ambulance is flown away. I can't even hit it. Okay. Let me try this. Cut. Let's go ahead and let's try this again. No. See you guys next time.